is that as we look at the life of Jesus, if we were to ask, if we were to just go out on the street and ask people, one, have they ever heard of Jesus? And then if they have, ask them why he came. The answer that they give is likely not the answer that they would have received from Christ. And I think that the problem with this is it generates a fundamental flaw in our understanding of God's plan and allows for erroneous ideas within the Christian life. Erroneous ideas that we see being played out right now in this cultural Christianity that we experience. If you look at Jesus' response here, he gives us what is the big picture. Now we have to be very careful to understand the significance of this truth. We have to be very careful to know what it's teaching because it helps to rightly align us with God's purposes in all things. Now, there is absolutely zero question based on the clear teaching of Scripture that Christ is God incarnate, the Word made flesh. John 1:1, in the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. John 1:14, and the Word became flesh and dwelt among men. Clear. There are other places. Crystal clear. Secondly, we understand, and it is crystal clear, that he was sent to bridge the chasm between God and his people that were caused by sin. It is also equally clear that God sent his Son out of his abundant love for his people to the cross for their sins. That's what results in the bridge of the chasm. John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, so that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. These are indisputable facts of Scripture. It is also beyond question that Scripture teaches that God is for our good. Romans 8:28, and we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose. But what we cannot miss in the midst of all of this wonderful truth is the response of Christ, and in fact his entire life, his entire mission amongst his people was for the glory of God. That's why. Now we get all of these benefits. This all is very true. It's all scripturally based, but at the end of the day, every single bit of it happens for God's glory. That's why. When we ask the question, that's the answer.